Elect Trump is preparing for a second term in the White House, prioritizing measures for the first 100 days back, as well as the upcoming 4 years. Trump is vowing to boost domestic energy production. He wants to utilize natural resources and roll back Biden-Harris climate policies. Also, he wants to repeat one of his iconic talking points, which is, of course, drill, baby, drill. Joining us now is senior E&E Institute Legal Fellow and former Trump EPA Transition Team member, Steve Milloy. Steve, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. I know you and other climate colleagues have put together a list of 10 action items you believe Trump should take on when he's back. Tell us more.
Well, good morning, Maria. Thanks for having me. So we're all on board with President Trump's agenda, which is to, as you mentioned, drill, baby, drill, and unleash the American energy industry. We need to get our coal industry going back again. We need to export natural gas. We need to turn on our nuclear industry. We need to shut down the Green New Scam. We need to stop the destructive, pointless construction of wind turbines offshore. We need to stop regulators from over-regulating, especially on climate and air quality. There's been a lot of over-regulation that is costly, that has shut down our industries. We've got to just unleash everything that is going to get our economy going again with respect to energy. We need to get out of the Paris Climate Agreement again, this time permanently. I think President Trump ought to treat the Paris Climate Agreement as a treaty, submit it to the Senate where it will die. And therefore we'll be out of it. We won't have, there's be no waiting period. There's a lot to do. We put it all together in 10 points on one page, which we'll probably release later this morning.
Yeah, I mean, look, it seems to me that any administration can completely shut down oil production just with rules and regulations. I mean, during the campaign, we talked so much about fracking. She's flip-flopping on fracking. But the truth is, it's just so much bigger than fracking. I mean, these regulations have put companies behind the eight ball because they are constantly trying to keep up with the new rules and regulations. That in and of itself should be something that Trump can do without Congress, right? He can just do that with deregulation.
Oh, absolutely. He has a lot of power. Obama destroyed our energy industry with regulation. Biden made it worse. We tried to fix it and Trump won. We're going to have to go back and refix it. He's got a lot of authority over the agencies. We need to make sure that the agencies are using the best science and best economics. They're not, issuing regulations that produce more costs than benefits. Actually, we don't really need any more environmental regulations. We've got to get regulators to follow the law. The Biden administration broke the law by stopping leasing of coal mines on federal lands, stopped leasing of oil and gas on federal lands. Right. He's got a moratorium on LNG. This is all illegal. So we just need to go back to the law.
Well, he also, President Biden shut down the Keystone XL pipeline on his first day in office. Remember that? He committed to reduce drilling and revoke Trump's 2017 permit approvals for the project. The pipeline would have transported roughly 830,000 barrels of oil a day from Canada. Steve, you've got an idea to resurrect that Keystone pipeline under Trump. Tell us about that.
Well, so an important part of this is going to be getting presidential appointees who are MAGA themselves and are committed to MAGA, at places like FERC, which approves pipelines, at EPA, which does assessments, at Department of Interior, which issues permits. We need to get people that are fully on board with the MAGA agenda and who are capable of fighting the resistance. Remember, we're going to have the resistance again. You've already seen talk about that in the media. That is going to be a problem. But we need to have committed people that are going to get these projects through. The MAGA agenda has got science, economics, and law on its side. We just need to have people that are going to press that.
Yeah, Mike Lee, jump in here.
So when we look at oil and energy, you can't just look domestically. And the current administration has done everything possible to sour our relations with Saudi Arabia. And if, quick history lesson, we don't win the Cold War without Saudi Arabia producing a ton of oil and collapsing the price so Russia ran out of money. Do you think that'll be an integral part of this administration, is repairing that relationship so we can get the price of oil down globally, not only through production in the U.S.?
Well, I think we need to get to the point where the U.S. is back in charge of the global price of oil as it was during the Trump administration. We handed control over the global price of oil to OPEC as soon as Joe Biden became president and shut down, basically U.S. production. And so President Trump, he's going to unleash production. That's going to send a message to places like Iran and Saudi Arabia. We're going to control the marginal price of global oil, and so we are going to be large and in charge. Everybody else is going to, make plenty of money by selling oil, Saudi Arabia, other countries in OPEC, and that's fine. But we need to be in charge, and that's going to be through the energy dominance policies of President Trump.
Yeah, Cheryl, jump in.
Well, I'm curious about job creation under President Trump, because under Biden, in particular, they restricted exports of LNG over to Europe. And so if that production gets back online and it grows in places like Pennsylvania, for instance, and other states, how many thousands of jobs do you think we could see created under President Trump?
Well, Cheryl, I think under the MAGA energy plan, you can see tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of jobs in other industries. My idea is that we start burning more coal for electricity. Coal is clean. It's a resource we have in abundance, and then we can take all our natural gas and export it to places like Asia and Europe, where they will pay 6 times more than U.S. utilities. I mean, this is ridiculous that we are burning so much gas at home. We should be sending that. There's a tremendous appetite for that abroad. We should send it where we can actually make some money. Burn coal at home, and then MAGA is just going to take off.
Well, I mean, we should also point out that when you're talking about these kinds of jobs, these are high-paying jobs as well in the energy space.
Oh, absolutely. Obama killed 50,000 high-paying coal jobs. Coal miners were making $90,000 a year on average. Yeah. And Obama killed 50,000 of them. And Biden, he didn't help the situation any. Yeah. Fossil fuel production jobs are great. We need more of them. We need to rule the world in terms of energy. And then we can also have nuclear energy as well. There's got to be some reform of how EPA and the Department of Energy and Nuclear Regulatory Commission license plants. But, we've got all the energy in the world. We've got to get it going.
Right. Well, as Trump says, there's all this liquid gold under our feet. Steve, thank you. Steve Milloy joining us.
Maria, thank you.